So I think it's wonderful that you're asking me how we break technology addiction while you're holding a smartphone and typing on a computer. The answer to how we break the addiction is, we have to look in the mirror and look at ourselves. I say all the time that I'd never worry that mistakenly I'm going to make an omelet on Shabbat, that I'm going to by accident turn on my stove and cook something, put in a laundry, get in my car. But I'm terrified that I will touch my phone, and I have to put it out of sight on Shabbat, on the Sabbath, because the technology is seductive and addictive in a way that my washing machine and my stove are not. Let's face it. We as adults have to model for children that there's a place and a time for technology. When they talk to us, our phone has to be out of our hands and down. By the way, the latest research shows that if in an office situation or a school situation, your phone is off and it's face down, it still impairs your concentration. You work less, you're focused less, just by virtue of the phone being within sight. We need to put them out of sight. We need to make rules in our household that say, phones don't come into bedrooms, or phones don't come to the dining room table. And we need to demonstrate that. And we need to do the really hard work of parenting, which means setting limits and saying no. And saying, you have access to technology for X number of hours a day, and then it turns off. The challenge here is it's not my phrase, I can't take credit for it, but I love it, we're cyber immigrants. We are grinners here. Our children will always know more than we know about technology. They'll always be more comfortable. My 3-year-old granddaughter can swipe her way into oblivion and do things on my phone that I don't understand. We have to still become the authority and in an authoritative way say, this is healthy, this is not. You can't sleep with the phone under your pillow. You can't sleep, your sleep is impacted. You can't do that. So we're going to have to do that as parents, and there'll be pushback. No child is going to say, thank you so much for taking away my cell phone this afternoon. Really gave me quality time. They're going to tell us we're the worst parents, nobody else, everybody else lets. We still have to use our wisdom, and we have to set good examples. And we have to recognize that this new technology is here to stay. It is wondrous in allowing us to connect to people all over the world and giving us access to information, to learning, to so many wonderful things, but it comes at a price, and we need to modulate the role it plays in our lives. It's a really good question, whether there will come a time when children will not be cyber immigrants and the technology explosion will slow down and there won't be as many new devices. And so, it's interesting, but the cohort of teachers that I have the privilege to teach, who are maybe in their 20s, all talk about those young kids. We'll get to a generation that literally barely writes, pen and paper writes. We will come to a generation that is as comfortable reading things on a screen as with pages to turn. It's not my generation. I want to feel the book. I want to see it in print. But I recognize that for some it's going to be quite different.
Click subscribe to see more exclusive content for the most sought after Jewish speakers, teachers, and thinkers.